Hi, it's Donna Berry Art. I have finished my second mini lapbook style journal, second of the steampunk, third of the mini journals. I have one more coming, and then I'm going to move on from minis and get into some steampunk regular size stuff. Anyway, this one is a little chunkier than the last one. And I put some dangles on the middle of each signature, so when it lays, on the shelf or sits, it's, has some dazzle here besides just the little tassel on the back, which is has 3 strings of beads. I don't know if you can see them that well when it's against the dark. I don't think I have anything I can put under them. I really do like to show the beads. I do like to use some really nice beads when I do my dangles or my tassels, things like that. A little bit of trim ribbon, not much, because I don't want to make it really too big. And then I just put a rose on here because you'll see a lot of roses throughout this journal. So, I did buy a bigger latch. I'm not crazy about it. It looks a little bit off here, but I can't really change it now. Still looks kind of cool. And then you have, each side has gears and a saying and a little I don't know, piece of fussy cut butterfly here and an owl here. A little more of this. I have used up a lot of my metal gears, so I had to get some more. It's amazing how fast they go. So we're going to get right to the flip through. I'll try to go kind of quick here because you guys have seen this before. This one, though, has a lot more imagery. Have some machines and cameras, different kinds of transportation, like balloons. You still have the little teeny tiny tags that all come out of here. You'll see more images on a lot of them as you go through here. Some Victorian steampunk women, gears, roses, butterflies, owls, what else? Transportation kind of stuff. So here, this is actually not a pocket. It's just a little cluster. Then you've got all these tags inside here. Some splatter, some gears, an owl, and then I put steampunk, my little steampunk metal sign on the bottom of this one. Something I always kind of try to go through when I talk about my the way I do things, like this, for instance, is a background paper I had, but I put gears on it that I have. When I do stuff in Canva, I'm doing it on my own paper. So when I'm not, you can resize stuff, but you can't like go into somebody's digitals and add things to them or take things out or change them. You'll see a little more of that. I'll talk about it in a minute, but here's a cluster, a little bling, a little file folder with some paper inside, more of a cluster here, little tiny pocket with a couple little, again, this is something I did. I made the little tiny tag. I put the image on it in Canva. My image, my tag. Okay, same here with this number 4. So something to keep in mind, just watch for copyright infringements. Here's another little tag. Again, my papers. I mean, not tags in a pocket, I should say. Here's a little pocket on top of this bigger pocket. And a butterfly back here. Some lace. And a little splatter, copper and turquoise. Obviously, the colors here are copper, turquoise, and black and white. Here's some more. I put this image on here. Some more tags. Let's see if I can show you. Here's one with the same image. Again, I did this to this tag. just cut it out and put it on there digitally. Okay. Cluster with a cup, nope, I'm sorry, pocket, side pocket, a couple little tiny tags, a little stamping, my paper's moving, a little pocket with some more tags, a little cluster here and some bling, a pocket with a tag, and a pocket with a tag on top of a pocket on top of a pocket. And here's some more of that, those tags that I did, a little less just plain tea stain like I had in the first one of these, a little more decorating on some of the tags and such. So, some pretty stuff. If you like turquoise, I think the color lends itself well to steampunk aesthetics. Here we have, I put a cluster on here, the butterfly, and some bling and gears and such. And here's some more little cards and tags. A few more here. Here's another woman. Some gears. Let's see what's back here. We have some cameras. And this is the teeny tiniest copy of a resize of a masterboard I've ever seen. It's my digital masterboard. I just kind of cut it way down to size just to fit in here. Actually, you could put that up here to break up those gears a little bit. Anyway, a little bling and a clock. Here we have a file folder that matches this card. And some little papers and postcards and full envelopes and things like that inside of here. Another Victorian woman. Here we have a tuck with an owl, just some cards. Okay, in there. And pocket out of a faux envelope and some more of that kind of stuff. Here's another rose with copper and turquoise postcard. There's a cluster on there. Those are two women with some airships. These are clocks. And then an envelope and some more tea stain tags. There's an airship on that one. Let's see what else is back here. Sorry, I don't mean to put my arm in front of you. Oh, another airship. So there's a lot. This one's really stuffed, and that's why it's really chunky. There's a lot of tags and cards inside this one. And some gears, some tea stain, some writing. This is a side pocket of a rose with some butterflies. This is a little envelope, some papers inside. Kind of just like a real big one, but just little. An owl and some gears and more tags. There's just some words on here, labels. Here's some cards and tags. Here's my little steampunk. All of these, again, my images. A little grungy here. There we go. Little bling here. This is probably a little odd, but this guy was here when I opened it up after the next day or whatever. It had moved, so I just threw some more bling on here. So now we're going to move over to the center spine, and that's right here, and it's just some, let me take this off, some different tags in here, gears and such, little bling, a little cluster. Come over here, and I need to fix that, but that's no big deal. We have journaling card, tags, lace, owls, blueprints, that kind of thing. You'll see that I'm trying to cover more than just white women in here. There, you know, when you do AI stuff, there's a lot of whitewashing. Everything comes out white women. So I make sure I try to cover, you know, races at a higher level, like Asian, Black, Latina, and white as well. So, you know, just kind of covering all bases here because I think it's the way to be. to represent. And you'll notice a lot of the women in here, like she's a scientist, and you know, a lot of them are working with machines, and they're doing a man's job basically and getting credit for it. How's that? So we have some gears on another woman, and what's back here? Oh, another one of those roses. You definitely see lace and roses and butterflies. Probably said that already, but a couple of women in here. Just some plain tags back here. Pocket on a pocket on a pocket. Little tiny tags. And butterflies. Another woman here. Two women actually. Some more little tags. Roses. This is a vellum tuck with two cards. One's a blueprint and one's butterfly, and then behind that's another tuck with gears and a clock, and we have a clock, and we have a file folder made of print of gears. So that's that one. I like vellum. Probably could have used a little more stuff throughout in here, but there was so much going on. I didn't want to overdo it. Balloons. We have a woman with balloons. I balloon. These are tickets for airship rides. We have a balloon back here. More tags. This size gets a little tight when you try to do it from the front. Here we go. Butterfly and some bling. More tags. A little stamping and stenciling. This is not a pocket. It's just a little typewriter cut out, fussy cut, and then I just put a piece of paper on there. It's very difficult to try to get this to be a pocket. We have a clock with some little tags inside of it, and a train glued on here, and then some images of some cards with some trains on them. And roses, trains and roses. This is actually a train schedule. And pocket, got owls and butterflies, more tags, stamping, cluster, a little butterfly with some stickles, some more tags here, little pocket and some balloon tags, a little stamping. We have a side tuck here. There's a collage of women, some gears. Put you back in here. It's really a little hard to manage some of these little things sometimes with my big old fingers. Bling, a woman and some gears, butterflies, roses, tags, balloons. Just a little pocket, it's roses and butterflies. Again, all this paper I make. We have a side tuck here, some tags of the clock, some lace, and here we are at the end. This whole pocket is just covered with gears, paper gears that I make. I cut them out in Cricut with my Cricut. A little label, and then we have a woman working on a machine, and an owl, and this matches the background. That is it. So thanks for watching.